Here we are. My name is Alan Roberts. I hope all of you are having a fabulous day. I hope you all had a great weekend too. I really do. I'm going to do something interesting today. This is going to be a little bit of a long video, and I'm going to try to keep my commentary down as much as possible. I know that that's very hard for me, so I'm just warning many of you that are going to be out there and get pissed off that I stop this video a bunch of times. I'm going to speak my piece, and guess what? If you don't like how many times I stop this video, you know what you do? Not fucking watch. Like, you are totally capable of not fucking watching. It's a big problem in society. Like, you don't like something somebody does, you are totally capable of not looking at it. Like, totally. You're totally allowed to provide your critique to it also, but you can move on. Like, I get to some people like, well, you make videos about fat people doing stupid stuff, you can move on. I could, but me talking about that shit and stopping a video a bunch of times is not societally damaging, but morbidly obese people gluttoning themselves to a disproportionate state of societal burden is societally damaging. So I will input on that anytime I want. And if you don't like my input on it, guess what you can do? Not fucking watch it. Like, you not liking my input serves no purpose. My output provides service. So anyway, let's do this. This is being overweight a choice? It's gym versus body positivity people. This comes from it's called Crosspoint, I believe, Counterpoint. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm pretty interested in seeing what all they got to offer, what all they got to talk about, because very realistically, I haven't watched this whole thing. I plan to. This is, again, let's so everybody can see it. This is Counterpoint. This is from a couple days ago. It's a fairly new account, I think, but I'm going to play it on 1.5 speed from the very beginning. It is an hour long, so we are going to be skipping through portions of it. So if that bothers you, I don't care. One more time, remind yourself, if you don't like this, you can fucking leave. So I have no problem with that. If you don't like free advice that's helped tens of thousands of people lose weight, you can get the fuck going. If you don't like not being lied to about your personal status, you can get the fuck going. I want you to live hunger-free and happy. And to do that, you cannot fucking lie to yourself. Like, I want you to live with as minimal hunger as possible at a healthy weight and be happy. But you have to enter the world where the sky is blue and the grass is green. And some of you motherfuckers should go touch some of that grass. So, here we go.
The gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So far from beyond what I actually live.
I work 14-hour days and I still manage to go to the gym. It'll take a toll on my sleep sometimes, but I have to be willing to take accountability and say, I was lazy at this.
I know a lot of fat folks in my sphere like to reclaim the word fat instead of using words like morbid or obese. They prefer the word fat, and I prefer the word fat because it describes what I am, not a category that doctors are putting me in to describe how sick I am.
Welcome to Counterpoint.
Well, in reality, we'll get, you know what? I'll let him talk.
I'm your host, Ryan. On this side, we have gym goers, and on this side, we have supporters of body acceptance. Being fat or skinny is a choice. We'll start by having people that agree come up now.
Being fat or skinny is a choice.
So I was a wrestler my whole life, constantly dieting my whole entire life. I mean, at this point now, I'm not wrestling anymore, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But I think it just comes down to the fact of it's just a calorie deficit. You want to consume less than what you're burning. Some people might have it easier. I'm not saying that, like some people might find it harder to lose weight.
Sounds like he's watched my content.
Some people might find it easier.
In your experience with the wrestling thing, did you always lose weight when you went into the calorie deficit, or was it different each time?
100%. It might have been, a little too extreme to where it got to the point where it might have been a little unhealthy. But, at the end of the day, I was losing weight, and it could have been because I had a better metabolism than some people. I could have had an easier route, but at the same time, I mean, anybody can lose weight if you just put your mind to it.
Okay. And what do you think about that? Yeah, definitely a choice. Excluding all the rarities, thyroid conditions, things like that come up. In general, it definitely.
Yes, but that's still a choice. Okay, because just to point out, like when people do that, don't give the caveat of like, well, your thyroid and this and that, because they'll diagnose everybody with thyroid conditions to fucking get them on medication. Like, that's the thing. They want everybody to think that they're sick when they're actually not. Most people are not actually chronically ill. Most people are lifestyle-driven chronically ill. There's a huge difference in that. I hope people can grasp that. There's a huge difference between being chronically ill, like you have some sort of genetic anomaly or birth defect or something like that that causes some sort of issue. Like, Type 1 diabetics are chronically ill through no fault of their own. Type 1, because their body does not produce insulin. And there's a thing called MODY diabetics also, where their body can't produce insulin, but it does not produce enough insulin, So anything else, if you have hypothyroidism, PCOS, if you have all of it stacked on top of each other, you can still lose weight. There's nothing that's going to stop your body from breaking the laws of physics. There's nothing going to stop your body from eating less calories than you burn. It might be much harder for somebody, especially because most people don't like to feel any type of discomfort at all. And most people, if you look around, I would argue in America that at least 50% of the population is addicted to some sort of ultra processed food and or sugar. Like, I'm sorry that people can't grasp that. It is one of the biggest problems that we don't talk about in our entire society, that a huge portion, well over 50% of our society, I would gather, is addicted to these foods. Like, when they try to stop them, they call them back. We talk about it. We joke about it in society all the time. People talk about like, oh, but the sugar, whoa, but McDonald's, oh my God. It's because you are addicted to this stuff, right? Like, you're absolutely 100% addicted. It like makes your eyes, if it makes your eyes roll back when you bite into it, you are addicted to that shit. Okay. You need to calm down with that stuff. It's unhealthy, but we need to get past the whole, but there's conditions. No, there's not. There's not one condition or one medication that is going to make it so you can be in a calorie deficit and not lose weight. It does not happen. It just simply is not reality. And again, reality, blue sky, green grass, not reality. Purple sky, rainbow, unicorns dancing across and shitting out glitter. That's not a real world. That's not a real world. Okay? Let's get going.
I think that it's everyone's personal choice. Some people do have it harder. I myself, I have a really hard time gaining weight. Super easy for me to kind of drop weight, slim down. But if you're trying to pack on muscle, I feel like I'm eating nonstop constantly.
Yeah, I mean, how much are you eating
He also said he works 14-hour days and then works out every day too.
per day? Like, is it a lot?
I don't count my calories. I just have a rule: if my stomach doesn't feel full, I have to eat.
Okay, fair. And how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with the majority of what you've said, that you can change your diet and really control what your weight does. I've watched it happen with my own body over the course of my life. I shared my office with a nutritionist for a year and listened to him talk about things. And
you're totally qualified.
It is very true. You can control that. And there are different genetic effects that can have a play on things, or different conditions that people might have. Like,
it's a play. Genetic things, meaning like your parents fed you junk food, so you are craving it. What genetic things? Like, there's Prader-Willi. Prader-Willi is normally associated with severe developmental defect also, like the person stays a child and has no impulse control. They don't function in society, they're managed, okay? Unless you have that, that's the only one. And the thing is about that, people with Prader-Willi can also lose weight if they eat less calories, but they don't have a satiety cue. They're in a constant state of hunger due to the birth defect of Prader-Willi. Like, they can still lose weight. They just are going to be hungry doing it all the time.
You mentioned, but I think we have to also mention the way that our food system is structured right now. Our food system is designed to keep people unhealthy and to keep people fat and overweight, and to try and make people sick and put them into the medical system, where then they can fall into the insurance system. Like, we have a system that is stacked against people being.
I agree to a certain degree, right? Yes, they want you fat, sick, and weak and dependent upon them. I have whole videos about it. I'm writing a book about it. Fat, sick, weak, and dependent. That's what they want. It's undeniable that is the goal. And if you're still in the train of thought thinking that no, they want me to be healthy, you're an idiot. Just straight up, you're stupid. You don't understand, it seems, right? But you can still eat healthy food anywhere. I will always point this out. Every convenience station, every gas station has a little area where they sell rice and beans. You can eat healthy. You can eat whole food. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, you can. And there is absolutely no excuse for people that have access to a grocery store. None. Absolutely not. Like, the food desert bullshit falls away when you realize that 90% of the population lives within like 15 miles of a fucking grocery store. Stop it. Like, for real, stop it. It's the choices you make, right? And as for the, healthier food is more expensive. Rice and beans, again, is cheap as fuck. Rice, beans, ground pork, cheap as fuck. You can live off it completely. Throw in some eggs and you're living like a rock star. It's the fact that people have convinced themselves that highly flavored food is a necessity. Like, highly good tasting food is a necessity, even though most of these motherfuckers don't know how to cook. Like, that's another thing too. A huge portion of society doesn't even know how to cook, but yet they think that they should get very, 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 very good food all the time, or high tasting food all the time. It's wild.
healthy. If you look at what people looked like with what they were eating when they ate whole foods, 7,500 years ago, even maybe even less, I think it really started after World War II when they learned how to prepackage foods with a bunch of preservatives to get at the front lines, and that changed the way that our processing of foods was done. And I think since that point, it's become the commoditization of the American people. I mean, we're essentially cattle being farmed for all of these different services to compound and rake us for money.
Okay, and I think that's a good time to bring in the rest of us.
I think that there's, like you were saying, there's so many disadvantages and ways of privilege that some people don't have access to, like transportation, healthy foods. If they struggle with their mental health or physical health for any reason, they can't get access to the same kinds of foods to stay healthy or to stay thinner. Just for medical conditions, personally, I have POTS, which makes it hard for me to exercise, and also I need a lot of salt. And when I am thinner, it's harder for me to stay hydrated, so I pass out then. But all those reasons, it's hard for me to believe that it is a choice.
Okay, can you explain
one more time
to bring in the rest of us?
This is some stupid shit.
I think that there's, like you were saying, there's so many disadvantages and ways of privilege that some people don't have access to, like transportation, healthy foods. If they struggle with their mental health or physical health for any reason, they can't get access to the same kinds of foods to stay healthy or to stay thinner. Just for medical conditions, personally, I have POTS, which makes it hard for me to exercise, and also I need a lot of salt. And when I am thinner, it's harder for me to stay hydrated, so I pass out then. But all those reasons, it's hard for me to believe that it is a choice.
Okay, can you
it's a choice.
Explain what
you can still not eat as much. You can choose to eat less. You can choose to eat less. It is a choice. You can always choose to eat less. Always. There's nobody can tell. You can choose to eat less. You can choose to keep yourself hungry if necessary. I try very hard in our coaching to make sure that people can live hunger-free and happy. It's literally the name of our book, Hunger-Free and Happy. It's the name of many things coming up. But that doesn't mean that you could not be hungry and lose weight. And at your size, young old lady, and I say young old lady because you may be a young lady, but you are old for your demographic because of how you treated your body. You could choose to eat less. You could even choose to eat less of the shit food that you're eating. You can choose to eat less all the time, every single time. It would not be a problem for you to eat less. It would not be a problem at all whatsoever.
POTS is?
Yeah, POTS is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And what that means is when your heart rate rises because your blood pools, and so then you pass out. But it's really important to stay super hydrated and have salt in your system to regulate your blood pressure.
I also have
that has nothing to do with your weight at all whatsoever. Staying super hydrated should make it so you fucking eat less. You realize that, right? What she said made no sense at all. It should actually be the reason why she can't gain weight. First of all, if you're super hydrated with plenty of electrolytes, you're not going to be that hungry. Like, what the fuck are you eating? Right? And by the way, the whole people don't have access to food when you listed off 10 medical the people that don't have access to food can't list off their medical diagnosis. Just as a newsflash, right? The people that don't have access to food, they don't get access to doctors. You think that they have access to doctors, but not food? Shut the fuck up. Like, you obviously have access to clothing, or like it doesn't apply to you at all. The people that don't have access to food, you know what they do? They go fucking hungry. It's like we act like people are starving. Obesity is not a function of anything but overconsumption, right?
a medical condition called PCOS. It's polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it makes it difficult to lose weight as well.
It does not make it difficult to lose weight. It does not. It does not. Okay? First of all, PCOS is normally driven by obesity. Look it the fuck up if you don't believe me. Look it up. But also, it's more of a reason to watch everything you put into your mouth, young old lady.
Blaming me being a bigger gal over that by any means. Also, one thing
you are not a bigger gal. You are morbidly obese. You should accept this about yourself.
I cannot control is how tall I am. I'm really short, and that's also a part of this body acceptance thing. It's like that is something that I can
completely irrelevant.
Change with only one thing, and that's wearing heels. And it's not the most ideal way to live, but like this is the body that I was born in, and the body that
No, it's not. Well, it is the body you were born in. It's the body that you've abused that you were born in.
I I'm so accepting of other people's bodies, but it's like accepting my own without changing so much about it is really difficult.
I think it all comes down to
Why would you not want to change it? You are sick. You are sick. You are sick, and you should do everything possible. When people tell me like, "Well, I can't lose weight because I have PCOS," but they overeat, it is the reason you should not overeat.
To whether or not we have free will. In today's society, we don't have access to knowledge. And so a lot of us don't realize the foods that we're
Are you fucking kidding me? We don't have access to knowledge? Stop it. I'm going to try to be nice
eating
today.
is bad. Whether or not you are eating healthy or you're eating like ramen noodles every day, we truly don't know what's in our foods unless you have that ability to
eat steak. You know what's in it? Meat.
Break through that barrier of this is me. Which a lot of people don't, especially in poverty. Like, we don't have access to therapy, stuff like that. Like, trauma can make a huge barrier between self-awareness and blaming the world.
No. Trauma is not an excuse. The problem is we've told a bunch of people that trauma is an excuse. Trauma is not an excuse. You claim, and I'm not saying you don't have trauma, but people that claim they have trauma and then expect society to fucking caveat to them, that's not how that shit works. If you have trauma, you deal with it. We should try to get you help to deal with it, but it should not make it so you use it as an excuse. Trauma is something to strive to overcome, not to use as an excuse. And that is a huge problem in our society right now because people list off their trauma as if they have complete complete avoidance of responsibility because of that,
And so a lot of people just blame the world and they can't accept accountability, which could literally be impossible for them.
If I have somebody that I have to rely on to buy all my food and supplies, then at that point, you don't really have a choice. It's not like an 8-year-old can petition for emancipation. I mean, he's kind of stuck under the guidance and values of his parents.
Yeah, that's true.
As an adult, I guess it's different, but yeah, definitely as young children and even the teenagers, it's not as much of a choice.
What else do you think makes it not a choice for them?
Gosh, I think of like when I'm like in front of really good food, just being like a foodie in general, like trying different restaurants.
Oh, you're a foodie.
It's how I bond with people too. Like it's in our society. You go to a restaurant, you eat as much food until you're so stuffed you can't eat anymore. And that is...
I thought it was your PCOS, young lady. I thought it was your PCOS that made it so that you were fat. Not that you go to a restaurant and eat until you're full, like overstuffed.
How I eat almost every day, and it feels like I don't have the free will anymore.
Can make a huge barrier between self-awareness and blaming the world. And so a lot of people just blame the world and they can't accept accountability, which could literally be impossible for them.
If I have somebody that I have to rely on to buy all my food and supplies, then at that point, you don't really have a choice. It's not like an 8-year-old can petition for emancipation. I mean, he's kind of stuck under the guidance and values of his parents.
Yeah, that's true.
As an adult, I guess it's different, but yeah, definitely as young children and even the teenagers, it's not as much of a choice.
What else do you think makes it not a choice for them?
Gosh, I think of like when I'm like in front of really good food, just being like a foodie in general, like trying different restaurants. Food is how I bond with people too. Like it's in our society. You go to a restaurant, you eat as much food until you're so stuffed you can't eat anymore. And that is how I eat almost every day. And it feels like I don't have the free will anymore. It freaking controls me. And to get up and have that same energy to go to the gym is really hard. Where I'm like, the easy thing is to do the, eating until I can't no more. And
so you go for the easy thing every day. I rest my motherfucking case. Thank you for just telling me that I'm right. I rest my motherfucking case 100% of the time.
Maybe that does make it a choice in a way, but I feel like I don't have the free will to make that choice.
That makes sense. Do you think a lot more people are feeling that like that too?
100%. Like it's something that I can control. If I'm going to choose a salad, you bet I'm going to put a bunch of dressing on it to make it taste better. Or the burger just looks so good. Like here, I absolutely am going to eat that compared to the salad. I don't feel like I have control over it, that it does not feel like a choice. It does also feel good. Like the endorphins hit me and I'm just like freaking dopamine high. I guess I could be addicted.
So literally
to crack. So if my food is my addiction, which it is, I've wrote like long, like.
But I thought it was your PCOS. I'm very proud of this young lady for having this very real moment. But you said it, you were big because you're PCOS. And then a couple sentences later, you said that you can't stop yourself from eating, that it's just easier to eat until you're stuffed and can't move instead of going to the gym. And you are addicted to the endorphin rush of the food. This is the problem. And somebody said, how about, in the chat, how about a bond with people over a walk? Well, that's also the issue, is because obesity is a societal contagion at this point. And I've warned about this for years. But if your friend group is fat, you are more likely to be fat. If the majority of your friend group is fat, you are more than likely to be fat. If you grow up fat, you're with fat parents, you are more than likely going to be fat because they teach you bad habits. It is a lifestyle thing. It is a societal contagion. And then when you add the excuses such as my PCOS, my hypothyroidism, and my trauma, and you say, oh, that's absolutely a reason why you can't lose weight, that is not reality. That is not reality. But please go on.
Notes in my phone about how bad my food addiction is. Like, it doesn't feel like a choice. Like, but there's no place to go, like food rehab, right? It's not treated the same. It's just you're fat and that's your choice. Get up.
I'd help you. I treat it like addiction. That's literally what I do. I treat it like addiction. Every single motherfucking day, I treat it like addiction. Because it is. I treat my binging disorder absolutely like the addiction that it is. And I will never stop. Not one day. Not one time will I stop. Because if I do, I will, in fact, blow the fuck up. But I am 1,737 days since my last binge today. 1,737 days as of today for my last binge. So miss me with that shit.
You lazy thing.
It's
Terrible.
the easiest coping mechanism.
You are lazy. You admit you're lazy. That's the thing, but you are lazy.
You know, like I remember having a bad day, like almost weekly. The thing was I would go when it was a bad day and I would hit a Taco John's and grab, a big giant grilled stuffed burrito and the pound of potato lays with a bunch of extra seasoning, because that was like the same feeling.
Did all of you see how he acted when he described that meal? That was an addict talking about their fix. He knew that meal down to a fucking T and shook when he talked about it. Had to take a deep breath. I'd help you too, brother. No shit. You are addicted to that shit. That's why you're fat fuck.
When people describe it like having a cigarette when they've been craving it, kind of thing. It's like just
Yes.
that release of like, okay, I had,
Yes.
it just set that calm across your whole body, kind of thing.
Can I ask you three a question that disagree?
Yeah.
Do you guys find that sometimes it's a lack of discipline more so than a choice, which can sometimes enable you into making further bad choices? I find myself with those similar struggles on things outside of the gym. How do you guys feel about that?
There's a fine line between discipline and free will, and it all just comes down onto your neural pathways and whether or not you have the capability to rewire your brain to be like, okay.
Everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody can change their situation. Everybody can change. To try to pretend that some people can't creates two classes of people, and I refuse to do that. I refuse to discriminate against a group of people by saying that I don't believe that they can change. I refuse to do it. That sounds incredibly short-sighted and bigoted to me. I refuse. That's one of the reasons why I am so stiff with fat people, because you can change. I changed. I was a fat people. I was a very fat people. I've lost over 100 pounds and kept it off for years. I was a fat people. You cannot convince me to start separating society into people that can change and people that can't change. People that are a slave to their whatever. No, we need to demand that everybody gets control of their own shit. Throwing your hands up and being like, I just can't change, and then society has to pick up the fucking slack for you is unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable.
I can eat this. You can have the Taco Bell, but you have to balance it out with something. Too much of anything is an addiction. If you're constantly eating healthy food, once you get a bite of, Thanksgiving turkey, you're going to overindulge. And I've experienced that myself.
Thanksgiving turkey is actually the fucking healthy thing on the plate, you dumb fuck. I'm sorry. I just don't understand where she's heading with this. And not people are like that. In our coaching, we help people have weekly indulgences. They plan out the indulgence. They plan it out days beforehand. They plan out what they're going to eat that day and how much water they're going to drink beforehand. And then they have the indulgence. And then we have them check in after the indulgence for how well it went. And we also have them plan out what their meal the next day is going to be. So they have their first food. It's not like, well, I ate like shit last night, so I can eat like shit now. No, here's the food I'm supposed to eat to start their day off right. Like, I understand. This is always why, and like I've actually sent these guys from Counterpoint a message. Like, this is why you guys should have somebody like me on, because I can talk. Like, this is all social media driven bullshit. This frankly is all social media, like nicey nice bullshit. Like some people can't control themselves. Get out of here. That's not realistic at all. Everybody can change. It is not too late for anybody. As many of you, it might be too late to get to the health you ever wanted to get to. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but you can be healthier and lead a healthier life and a happier life with better quality of life if you take steps now. By the way, here's our coaching. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. Daily communication, weekly video conferences about all of that: proper sleep, hydration, stress relief, appropriate fitness level activity, proper nutrition, how to eat whole foods mainly, avoid ultra-processed foods, how to help get time and distance between your binges and overeating, make sure you handle your stress with stress relief techniques, and recording your stress events, how to deal with cravings, how to deal with binges, how to deal with and the tools like the 75-20-20 protocol that I made a video about the other day, how to help watch your portion sizes ambiently so you can try to live hunger-free and happy. But just to say that there's two classes of people, some people that can't change this about themselves at all. Where the fuck were the people that couldn't change this out about themselves at all 50 years ago? And you can blame it on the food system, but if it was the food system alone and not personal choice, everybody would be fat and nobody would be able to lose weight. And that is not the truth. People that try harder can lose weight and keep it off. And anybody can try harder. You are all of you, not one single person at all, not one single person at all could possibly not lose weight. You can all change, every single fucking one of you.
Specifically with going to the gym, like that is a discipline that I highly admire in people like you. Truly. I tell myself I don't have the time. I'm doing other things. I'm working. I really don't think I would have the dedication that it takes. Going to the gym is a choice. And you guys, I mean, I'm glad that you do, but it's also like not my thing. I've tried it before and I don't have the
I love this. The trolls suck. I have a 295-pound bench press and I am a pro power lifter. No, the fuck you're not with a 295-pound bench press. That remark alone makes it so you are just a fucking comic joke. I love it. Thank you very much. The trolls used to be like good at trolling. Now you guys are just comic fucking relief. You're a 295-pound bench press and you're a pro power lifter. Dude, are you 2 feet tall or something? Because that's fucking funny as fuck. Oh my God. Oh, thank you. That was great. I love it.
Discipline to stay consistent with it. So I think that's a good point, Gabe.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think for me it comes down to discipline. I've been through points of time in my life where, I've been what you would consider 1% as far as physical condition.
All right, we're going to skip up to the next one.
At this point,
fitness can become an unhealthy obsession. As always, we'll have the people that agree come up now.
I know for me, my personal...
First of all, I'm going to add my thoughts to this. Fitness can become an unhealthy obsession. Yes and no. Yes, they become an unhealthy obsession because it might actually impact your life, like to the point where if you get super hyper-focused on it, then you're going to cause yourself eating problems. Like you're going to get overly hyper-focused. Most of the time when you get hyper-focused on anything, it's not a healthy endeavor, speaking as somebody that has ADHD hyper-focus. Sometimes you need to take a step back. Like yesterday, I unplugged. I didn't touch any of the projects or anything like that. Just stayed off my phone, stayed off the computer, talked to my wife, had the best day I've had in a long goddamn time. But realistically, it's only unhealthy if it makes you unhealthy. Okay, like if you go from a morbidly obese state and people are like, you're obsessed. It's unhealthy to be obsessed with health, but yet all of your fucking markers go down. Your waist to height ratio is good. Most of the time, people say this is unhealthy when they see you doing shit that they can't do. Now, if you get too thin, that's unhealthy. But that goes into another direction. But just being obsessed with being physically fit is not unhealthy. It should not be put on the same category as being obese unhealthy, especially.
Experience, I have struggled with an eating disorder before, and when I was struggling with that, I know that I was eating, we were just talking about like calories in, calories out. I know I was eating less calories than I was exercising out. So I would eat like 300 calories and then I'd burn off 400. And so exercise was a really unhealthy obsession for me at that time. And I know that a lot of things influence me, such as like social media and the internet and things like the inspiration and pro-Anna and pro-Mia sites. But that's what made me think that exercise was the only way to lose weight and the only way to become what I wanted to be.
I don't know if my mom will appreciate me talking about this, but
So, what? I mean, it just sounds like you're a weak person that's easily susceptible.
my mom used to be a weight loss and fitness coach. It consumed a lot of her life for like the early 2010s when it was really popular to be in that sort of thing. And it affected me a lot more as a kid, watching her like obsess over working out every single day and how much weight she
Working out every day is not an obsession. It's a lifestyle. You glutton yourself by admission every single day, and you're going to judge your mom for working out every day. She should be pissed at you and embarrassed. I'm secondhand embarrassed for her.
Was losing. And I was just like really hurt by a lot of it, actually. Just, it's affecting the people around you, especially your kids.
Oh, no.
It was like, I can't.
Showing your kids that you should work out every day as a lifestyle that's negative. Like, you see that as negative. Oh. It was really tough watching my mother work harder than I wanted to. Oh. Stop it.
Do something right now, or I can't do this because I have to put in my workout. And it's like putting the people that you love on the back burner because of something else, like going to the gym or working out.
Yeah, I think for me, I usually think to sports, and then for work-related things, whether that's like modeling or military stuff or whatever. I think people can go to some very unhealthy extremes and become obsessed with it when trying to reach some of these goals, and then it can, I think some of it can go back into some of the mental health with body dysmorphia, where you can have people that have very unrealistic ideals, and you see people with implants that are drastically changing their body, because they're
like, the stretches are fucking amazing. It's just hilarious. My God.
Obsessed with not just the fitness, but also the look. And so, it's a lot of that internet and what you're talking about with how that culture has been influencing much more and more. And, growing up a lot younger, that was not something that we were exposed to, really in the 80s and 90s. You would have a curated image, and, you'd have like MTV and things like that where there was that, but it wasn't exposed and in your face and from uncurated sources and people that are your age, but from all kinds of different walks of life. There's not a filter on that. And I think that's how people can get so obsessed with it, because they just have all the act.
If people were obsessed with fitness, we wouldn't be fat as fuck as a country. You people are out of your minds. Out of your minds.
So like you said about modeling, I started modeling about 2 years ago. And when I first came in, she was like, we measured myself, and that was all cool. And I see myself as a pretty fit woman. I have been my entire life. I've been this weight for a reasonable amount of time. She measured me and she was like, you're a plus size model. And for a really long time, that kind of just weighed on my conscience. And so I would overly obsess, hitting 5 days at the gym, calorie deficit, all of that. My hair started falling out. I started noticing my skin was breaking out, all of these things. And then again, like, I would not be spending time doing the things.
So the thing is, this is not for fitness though. Like, you considered yourself a fit person already, and then wanted to do an endeavor, and the endeavor had you lose weight, right? This is not you obsessing about fitness. This is you obsessing about getting the money for being a model. This is not obsessing about fitness this at all. This is you hurting yourself basically to be a model. That's bad. I agree. The fitness portion of it, you already considered yourself fit because you worked out. You clearly were already at the point where you accepted yourself, and you allowed other people, because you wanted to get a job, to in fact influence you to hurt yourself. That's your reality.
I wanted to do because I was consumed in being.
Oh, hey, just real quick. I see we have a crazy troll saying that he, blah, 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 meet me in Florida. Here's the thing. Here's your screening, buddy. So you can come on live, follow this link. You can come on live, all right? You have to show your face, and you can say whatever you need to say. But it has to be your face. You can't cover yourself up. But you can join me live, okay? Here we go.
Skinny. But then I was just like, girl, you look fine. And I think a lot of people don't think that way. But my mom raised me to be a very, very disciplined woman and to see all aspects of life. And I am so blessed to be able to look at myself and truly love myself, but a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and so it continues to be an addiction.
You guys mentioned a good point over there about how detrimental it can be to your family life if it's all you focus on. I wasn't even thinking about that at first, but that definitely can be true. I guess I was kind of leaning towards the rich pianas of people that take things too far, ingest their bodies, and then ultimately it takes their life. And at that point, yeah, it's certainly
Rich Piana died from coke. Like, I mean, and of course, injecting yourself with fucking, like, that wasn't even fitness, bro. Like, there's a difference when it stops being fitness. I would argue that while bodybuilders and stuff like that are in shape, it's not the fittest, healthiest thing in the world. Like, I don't think anybody should ever think that a 250-pound bodybuilder is healthy. Unless they're very tall, very, very tall. Okay, because to be super lean and have that much muscle stacked on you, that's not that healthy. And what you need to do to get there is not that healthy. Right? So it's not reality. Like, lifting heavy, like very heavy weight for the sake of just trying to lift very heavy weight is not always as healthy as the people think it is either, because you're putting an overtax on your body every single day. I've lived that.
obsession that's gone too far. Social media might have a big impact where it'll make someone feel a certain way. People start to inject their bodies with performance-enhancing drugs, things they don't really know they're putting in their body.
Right, so that's not fitness. That's not fitness. Fitness can't go too far. That's when it stops being fitness.
Be some backwoods bathtub concoction that somebody makes, all in hope.
This is the same thing about how. This is the same thing, like about how people think that they're getting over an eating disorder, right? But they are binging basically every day because they're controlling their binging disorder by just letting themselves eat whatever they want at any time all day long. So they eat 3,000, 4,000 calories all day long instead of eating 3,000, 4,000 calories at a sitting, calling it a binge. It's still binging. You are just stretching it the fuck out and you're staying the same. You are not recovering from anything. You are still fat. That's a problem. Like, it's this mind fuck game we play with ourselves.
To, add to that workout just because they think it's going to make them that much better. I feel like there's a certain time last year where I just kept seeing name after name of influencer that, dying, going to the hospital. I mean, I feel like for several months in a row, I saw like 4 or 5 people die. Their heart starts to explode.
Yeah, well, I think that we covered kind of all the range on that. So I guess the time would be now to bring in one disagreeer. So
after everything that was said, I mean, I pretty much agree with, I kind of agree with the topic now. But
well, could you maybe give us maybe what you were thinking originally when you're thinking like, okay, maybe it can't be unhealthy. Like, what were you thinking?
The thing that I was thinking of is, just the fitness part. I feel like a lot of the things that were said might stem from other things. I mean, maybe like mental problems and stuff like that.
So let's move forward.
Fit people are more attractive than plus size people. We'll start with everyone that agrees. Come up now. But I mean, obviously, this is a personal preference.
All the dudes.
Question. What makes fit people more attractive than plus size people?
All the guys walked up. All the guys.
Yeah, I've had friends that like women on the plus side. I've had friends that like women that, to me, look really small. One aspect other than just the looks alone is I think hard work is really attractive, and I think that most people find people that work hard is a really attractive trait. Whether you're a doctor, a pilot, you're a cop, if someone sees you're working hard, that's a super attractive quality to me, and that really is shown on the way you take care of yourself. I've seen plenty of people that are not fit, they're not fat, just kind of a normal person, but they don't really have any other day-to-day activities where they have hard work. And I think the body is a really good, very first sight you get to see how hard does a person work, and I think that trait of just hard work is super attractive.
I mean, I think you need to take that hard work may not always present in a physical form, and so I know people that are doing very hard work, but it just isn't hard from a physical labor standpoint. But beyond that, I think the first thing we need to do is point out that it's all men up here that agree with this one. Like, I think we have to point that elephant out immediately and say that's probably something that's societally related. That we grow up like you.
No, it's not. It's evolutionarily related. It's not society related. If it was societally related, society is telling men to be weak and fucking pitiful, kind of like you. But it is evolutionarily related because men seek out healthy mates to bear children. Evolutionarily, that's what the fuck we do. And to think that that's going to change is wild, but also society is trying to make it change. Society deemed being masculine as toxic, and instead of getting rid of toxic masculinity, they just got rid of masculinity and they kept the toxicity. Go check out TikTok for this thing called Passport Bros. It is these dudes who wish for women to lower their standards because they're mediocre looking and acting men. So they want to go overseas to find women who will basically accept them for being mediocre. Their money goes farther. They automatically, they say, like Americans, because they have the American accent, like you're exotic over in different countries. So they go over there to find a wife because they think that American women are too hard. That is fucking patheticness. That is where we are at. To think that society is pushing this shit, that is, you are just tapping into something that is evolutionarily in you. And women can fucking stop with all the bullshit. They do not find the dad bod healthier or better looking. They find that to be safer. That's the truth. I'm sorry, but that is the absolute truth. Dad bod, the dad bod is literally the physical envisionment of mediocrity. You know, pot belly, that is not healthy. That is against nature. Nobody had pot bellies before we started with industrial wheat and GMO wheat. Nobody. Reality, nobody. Oh, hey, Harry Slade. Harry, you got to appear. No, see, you got to appear on camera. You can't have a towel over your head. I don't know why this is so hard for you guys. I mean, this is kind of sad. But everybody, just so everybody knows, this is Harry. Harry has a towel over his head. He looks like a fucking pussy-ass idiot. Henry, I'm sorry, I'm not even using your right name. Not that it matters, because it's probably not your real name. But I'm not letting you on unless you take the fucking towel off. Show us your pretty face, powerlifter. I mean, come on. Look at this stupid shit. You look like a fucking idiot. For real. You look like a fucking fool. Your mama should be very fucking embarrassed. I'm fucking very embarrassed for your dad. You get kicked. Banned from studio. Fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. Fucking crazy. Anna. Hell yeah, I'll be with you in just a couple minutes. Here we go.
Said talking with your friends, some that prefer this, some that prefer that. But I think our friends, especially in sports and things like that, locker room talk, I think there's a lot of pressure on men.
Locker room talk. You mean men talking about women?
To have a girlfriend that is conventionally attractive according to whatever the beauty standards are at the time. You know, like I know that's how I was when I was a kid. I would assume that's how it is. And so, you know, you have a lot of men kind of brought into this system, indoctrinated into this mindset of like, I got to do this almost like a keeping up with the Joneses. My buddies are going to think of me, you know, a certain way if my girlfriend doesn't look a certain way. And so then they condition themselves to think. And then also society's constantly pushing that at us. You know, you don't have.
Nature pushes it. A fat person is unhealthy. We know this. It's a lie that we keep trying to fucking somehow perpetuate. It is not even about attractiveness. Not being fat is about health. And we are biologically hardwired to look for health in mates. Stop with the fucking excuses, you weak ass pieces of shit. We are literally going to politically correct ourselves out of existence. Stop it. What the fuck?
Of different body types shown in different ways. You know, there's very few people over time that have ever broken into the very famous industry that weren't of a conventional beauty standard because they're just shut out. They don't get the opportunity.
Because they're not beautiful. It's not a conventional beauty standard. It's an evolutionary beauty standard. It is a health standard. Stop it. It's not a beauty thing. It's not even an argument that morbid obesity is unattractive. It's a lie to say it is. We all know this. Deep down, we all know this. This is ridiculous ass cope. It's just fucking pathetic.
I mean, for me personally, like he was saying, I got friends, you know, who their standard or whatever, you know, what they're looking for is just like really extreme, really skinny, and then friends on the other side who, you know, prefer plus size. But for me personally, it's, you know, just someone I can relate to. So, you know, my girlfriend, she lifts, and we like to lift together, and so it's just something I like to do with her, and she likes to do with me, and so just something I look for, and something I enjoy.
Yeah, it's like a bond for you. You're saying it lies a lot in the bonding aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
The similarity. It's like a strong pillar of your relationship.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I can say, you know, with my wife, I've been together with my wife for 19 years, so I've known my wife at a range from, you know, like 120 pounds to almost 200 pounds. And, you know, so like I know that physically, like I have different ranges of where I feel levels of physical attraction with her. And we've had those conversations, and she said the same with me, that, you know, when I've had more weight on, that she's been less physically attracted to me, you know, and it's just something that we understand that really, like you were saying, the bonding, it's the true attraction.
It's biologically hardwired.
Action isn't about what we look like. You know, eventually we're going to be old and wrinkly. At the end of the day, it's about what kind of a connection you have with that person is really what attraction.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Everybody's going to get old and wrinkly, but old and wrinkly is like you're only going to get there if you're not fat. And that's why people choose non-fat people. That's why we know it's unhealthy, because there's no old fat people, especially old fat people that have been morbidly obese since they were 13. That does not happen. The length of time you're obese is even the more of a factor than the obesity itself. That's every study has ever shown that. That's how they debunked the obesity paradox. They used to have this thing where the obesity paradox, people that are overweight tend to, you know, they recover from heart disease faster, they recover from heart attacks faster, this and that, because they have the extra weight, blah, blah, blah. No, well, first of all, those people gained weight very relatively, like the way they looked at the data when they went back to relook at it, the people that did well because they had extra weight on them had just gotten big like a year or two beforehand. Those people, the people that have been big for 30 years, 20 years, half their life, they don't do well. Their body is frail. They are fucking weak because they've abused it for most of their life. Like you're talking about everybody's going to get old and wrinkly. Not the people you're talking about, not the fat people. If your wife weighed 200 pounds, you should really ask her to try to help. You should ask her, please let me help you get fit because this is an unhealthy weight. She should be talking to you right now, motherfucker. Like your wife should be like, hey, this Homer Simpson look is not good. This is unhealthy. Let's do something about this.
And I think that's why probably it's also more
Homer Simpson in his Guns N' Roses phase, I should say.
More men up here right now is because men are conditioned to not as often have that kind of a bond and have that desire to form that bond in that same way, where women, the way that they bond with their friends is
No, we're not. That's not it at all. We're not conditioned for that at all. Most men are conditioned that if you fuck with my wife, I'm going to kill you. That is a very serious bond. Okay? Like very, very, very serious. And at least real men, a real man should never, a real man should never watch somebody be in danger or pain. A real man, if they see somebody being accosted on the street, does something. I don't give a fuck if they might go to jail, blah, blah, blah. There are some things that are worth going to jail for. If I get in trouble because some dude's raising his hand to a woman, I've knocked the fuck out of him. If I get in trouble, my wife will be fucking applaud me all the way. But if I wouldn't do something or say something, how the fuck is she ever going to look at me again? You fucking people, man. Like this dude is why the getting rid of toxic masculinity is a problem, because he thinks he's in his fucking fifis. You just sound weak as fuck, bro. Men like sexy women, built women, women with good quads, a nice butt, a small waist, because that looks fucking healthy as fuck. That's why they like it. You thinking that it's like society conditions them. No, motherfucker, nature conditions them. One more time. You think that, you go to any fat acceptance person's fucking thing, they're in a bikini and you don't even know where the fucking string is in a bikini because it's covered up by 25 fucking rolls, and there's still dudes in the comment waiting to fucking bang it. The problem is you think like, dude, look at you. Like, this is you coping, pushing your shit on other people. Fucking weird ass.
more emotionally connected, whereas with men it's much more physical, it's much more sports and outdoor activities, and it's not as intimate of a bonding situation.
Yeah, definitely I would say probably the most judgmental people of a young man is another young man,
Yes.
But I think it's a good time to bring up the rest of us. I guess the real question is, does the size of someone's body have any pull on the amount of attraction you guys have for people?
It does not. I've never been
No shit.
attracted to a particular body type, but my boyfriend is plus size. We've been together it'll be 4 years in November.
Huge fucking shock.
And he is the first person to ever truly look at me and find me attractive, truly.
When you don't have that many fucking choices.
And that's something that I think everyone deserves, no matter what your size is. And it's really...
Well, there is always somebody for everybody, and I agree. It would just be nice if you two got together, realized you loved each other no matter what you fucking looked like, and then got healthy. But instead, the reason why you two picked each other is because you two both cope in very fucking unhealthy ways. And you two are good with coping. Like, obviously, he is doing what you do. You said you like to eat until you're stuffed every single day. Every single day. So you're not doing that alone. You're doing that with him. So he's a fat fuck because he eats like you every single fucking day. You two are two fat fucks together that will not live a long lifetime together. If you really loved each other, you would do, and trust me on this, this is why I stopped lifting heavy ass fucking weight, because I wanted my back to last. This is why I stopped abusing my body. This is why I fucking stopped drinking, and I rarely have a fucking cocktail. This is why I did all this shit. Because I want to be 90 years old, walking down the beach, laughing with my wife about all the good times we've had. That is what I want to fucking do. That is what I want to fucking do.
A good point that you had brought up, that, honey, we're going to age. We are going to have wives with babies that are going to be bigger. And what?
No, you are likely not going to have children. You have PCOS and you're morbidly obese. You're going to have an extremely hard time conceiving. And if you do, it's kind of irresponsible, because unless you change your ways, you're not going to be around long enough to fucking see this child into adulthood. Reality exists. It may suck sometimes. It may suck when some bald fucking crazy dude says the real shit to you. But as a newsflash, that's reality.
What if they can't lose the weight? What if they're not fit enough for you? You're just going to stop loving them? That's extremely sad. And because you're attracted to someone.
That's an assumption, one. And two, I got fat. When Crystal married me, I was not as lean as I am now, but I was a tank of a man. And I got fat from there. And she sat me down and said, "Do you not want to live a long lifetime with me?" And that changed every motherfucking thing. I love my wife, and my wife loved me enough to have the fucking conversation with me. That is the fucking thing. Oh, hang on a second. Putting a new towel on your head does not actually make it so you are going to fucking come on. You weird ass motherfucker. And you're booted also. Sad. Kind of pathetic. Just sad. Here we go.
Like, I'm not saying people can't have preferences, because obviously everyone has their preferences, but it's sad that someone wouldn't look at maybe someone like me and be like, I wouldn't be willing to give her a chance because of the way that she looks and not who I am as a person. And that sucks.
Who you are as a person gluttons yourself every single day. Who you are as a person is admitted that they are addicted to food every single day. That should not be found attractive. People that want to have healthy children, healthy mates, would not find that attractive. That's why you're stuck with the B team, a morbidly obese fucking sloppy fuck that likes to eat like you do. That's the long and short of it.
Because like people wouldn't even get the chance to know me before counting me out, which is terrible.
Not really. You count everybody else out because you want to stay addicted. Like what she just said is that like people can see a drunk alcoholic in the bar falling down night after night after night, and they're not going to give him a chance because he's a drunk alcoholic and can't stop consuming alcohol. You can't stop consuming food that puts you into an unhealthy state, admittedly, and you don't want to work out. You'd rather sit and eat the food, admittedly. And that is a representation that is shown in your body every day. People know it. It's the truth. And that's why you're not chosen, because you are not as good as other people. I know this is a hard thing to understand, but your choices, how you treat your body when it comes to dating and stuff like that, that is a physical representation of why they should choose somebody over you if they want certain things. If they want to live a long lifetime with the person, if they want to live a happy health span with the person, meaning they don't have to worry about physical illness and all sorts of things for a long period of time. If they want to do physical activities, if they want to be very physically active, if they don't find enjoyment in gorging themselves every single day, they're not going to want you. And the people, the higher quality people that you are probably looking for and probably thinking like, why wouldn't they give me a chance? Is because you are not for them. You are for the fat fuck that you're dating. You are for the low expectation dude because you had you may have higher expectations and you're upset that you don't understand why they won't give you a chance. But reality is you are not a high quality person. You could be a high quality person. You could change your ways because then, once again, I said anybody chance, but you are not a high quality person. You are a person that is disproportionate burden on yourself, your family, society, the country, the environment. That's reality. You should accept that. And then you're in full acceptance. That's acceptance.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of big people feel that way. Like, how am I deserving of love when all of the men just sat down here and said, I'm not attracted to a particular body type? That sucks.
Yeah, so
think that
change. So fucking change. You want them to lower their standards for you. You sound like one of the passport bros.
Plus size could be attractive in your head?
I think it depends on every woman.
Okay.
I don't think every woman has to have a snatched waist. This is going to sound very shallow amongst the boys if we're getting truthful. If a girl has a nice waist to butt hips ratio, I still find it very attractive. It doesn't have to be 23-inch waist and whatever.
Vito, you're back. But I took jokes from you plenty. I just called you a pedophile because you are. That's all.
There's variations of what I find attractive.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I just want to keep following up with the people that disagree. What's your take on it?
I also don't have a preference of body type. I'm very
Shocking.
fluid in my dating preferences, and I'm very emotionally invested in the people that I date. So for me, it's a lot about if we have a lot of common hobbies or common interests, not necessarily if we have a common body type.
Like, say you're watching a movie, right? They watch Zac Efron, right? Like one of the most shredded I think anyone's ever been in a movie on camera. Does that make any difference to you seeing that versus someone that, I don't know, I guess was plus size? No difference at all.
No.
Yeah, whoever. I mean,
I guess like if I have a preference at all, my celebrity crush is Luke Combs, which is a plus-size gentleman, which is kind of crazy.
yeah, no, that makes so that makes a very clear point of what I was asking. Yeah, that makes sense.
I got a question for you guys. So if you like went into a bar or something like that, what would make you go up to a person and talk to them?
Wanting to talk to someone. Like I've been shut down too many times that I won't ever do it anymore.
Right.
I'm glad that I found my person because I've been told no enough. Or I'm like just swiping on Tinder was what did it for me in college. It's the only thing that really caught me through in dating at all. But I maybe they look kind, they look nice. Something catches my eye, like a smile or like a sparkle in their eye, not their body type. It's not the first thing I'm paying attention to.
I can see that. I've seen plenty of women that have great bodies, but they just have a nasty, mean attitude. You can tell off their face.
Right.
You're like, I can tell I wouldn't really like talking to you.
Right.
Personally, I don't think I've really ever looked at anyone I was attracted to and been only attracted to them based on their body type, unless they were a woman. And I've never dated anyone based on their body type. But when you look at Ashley Graham too, she's a plus size Victoria's Secret model. Beautiful. We see all of these models who are plus size technically, but they look different as well. They still have curves and stuff. So I really do feel like it's based off of genetics. And I personally am a personality person. I've never, I never dated anybody based on how they look. But
You lie. I'm just going to go out and say that you lie.
as well as if we don't have things in common, like now that I am very disciplined and I go to the gym, if someone has negative habits and they don't go to the gym, that's when I would find them unattractive. But if they don't go to the gym and they're taking care of themselves, like I don't really see how that could impact me.
Okay.
The word fat is offensive. Start by having the people that agree come up now. The word fat, what about it makes it offensive to you guys?
It is the word that was ever first used to me to describe me in a negative way as a kid. And that's just kind of always stuck with me. I haven't taken it and twisted it into like a positive where you can describe me as fat and I won't see that as offensive because I do.
So you find being what you are because of your actions, which you have already stated being offensive. You're too weak. That's the problem. You're just too fucking weak for society. It would be different if you didn't understand it is actually because you're fat. Like how you don't want to be graded on your physical appearance at all because then you are in the pool. It's like the same thing as these passport bros I just explained earlier. Like you motherfuckers want to make sure that the competition is leveled off for you. Like you want to be graded on a curve. And that's just not the fucking case at all. I mean, if there's anything, it's an inverse curve. Like that's how it is. It's the amount of weak ass pathetic cope in this is fucking sad.
First thing that you should use to describe somebody shouldn't be fat or thin at all. And it again just sucks that the word fat is used in such a negative connotation that I find it offensive. Absolutely. But thin isn't used in the same way.
It isn't. Yeah, you're saying like if I was fishing, I was like, oh, like that's a fat bass. Like somebody would be like, heck yeah. Or if I'm like, that's a real thin bass, they'd be like, man, that ain't. But then when it comes to like humans, it's the context. It's always given with a negative connotation, huh?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, and what do you think?
Initially, I thought of like our humor, and I think as humans, we bond with humor. One of the first like jokes that I heard when I was younger and that we used to say all the time on the bus is, yo, mama's so fat, whatever. And I would be like, before we play this game, y'all better not say that. Because my mom, she's overweight. Everyone in my family is. So I've grown up. That's the immediate target, and those are fighting words. And so I don't.
Your mama jokes are hilarious. I'm sorry, that's the thing. Like, you motherfuckers think that jokes are offensive and shit like that. If they are, don't listen. For real, you people are fucking weak as fuck. Just fucking sad and weak.
Think it's just a word. I think it's what surrounds it. And I think as kids, like we're automatically taught that we can make jokes out of people and we can use other people, and regardless of their circumstances, other people's looks as a way of leverage to make the room laugh. And I just think that we need to think about humor in a different way,
And it really does just bring me back to my childhood. I realize that this is not therapy, but it brings me back to like the first time someone was ever mean to me on a playground. It was because I was a chunky third grader and they called me fat. And
oh my God, they told you the truth?
It's so incredibly unkind. And today as a society, we have got to be kinder to each other. And
no,
it may not be offensive to somebody else, but you should be well aware of your surroundings.
Why do we have to be?
Speaking to saying that word, because people do use it as humor.
That makes sense. Now we know kind of where we stand with it. I think it's a good time to bring people that disagree up now.
Like, we have to be kinder to people. I just feel like we have to be truthful to people. Sometimes the truth is not kind. I will say this. Being truthful is way kinder. And truthfully, young old lady, you're fat as fuck. If you find it offensive to be called fat, don't be fat. But trying to pretend that you are just as attractive as the other girl that's sitting on stage with you is not going to happen, because that's what she wants. Like, it is not going to happen. You have admitted why you are in no position to be judging these motherfucking people. You have admitted it. You have said you glutton yourself every single day. You prefer that to working out because it's easier, because that means you're fucking lazy and you're wanting to be seen in the same light as the girl who takes care of herself. It's just really fucking pathetic. We need to hold you motherfuckers accountable. That's what society needs to do. We need to keep telling you motherfuckers the truth. That's what society needs to do. We need you to realize that the society is not the problem. Your daily admitted gluttony is the problem. Oh, hey. Hi, sir, motherfuckers. Previous suggestion about smoking helped me, thanks. But now, whenever I resist smoking, my brain says either give me a cigarette or give me something to eat. Kind suggestions. Grab a water bottle. And I'll talk. We'll get to that more later. I'll as soon as we're done with this, I'll get back to you. You're gonna get more than that.
To me personally, I mean, the fact that we can, use the word and call other things fat makes the word itself not offensive. I think we can all agree, depending on how a person uses the word, it can become offensive. And I feel like that can be said for a lot of words out there. But I feel like the fact, like you were saying, you could say a cat's fat, you could say, a lot of things are fat, and that word is not offensive. I feel like it's just the way you use it.
I think, like you said, though, with it being humans, I think there's a difference there because, like you said, people have feelings. And, like me personally, yeah, I don't find it offensive, but I don't find anything offensive. And so that I have to understand is a me thing, not an everyone thing. So I don't use it because I understand that general societal norm is it's offensive. I understand that. But for me personally, it's not. I don't care. Like, if you call me fat, yeah, I probably am. Yeah, I make good food. Shit happens.
I know for me, the word fat is not offensive unless it's directed as a slur. For me, I know a lot of fat folks in my sphere like to reclaim the word fat instead of using words.
They like to reclaim the word fat. You're already fat. You've already claimed it. You don't need to reclaim shit. You've already claimed it.
Words like morbid or obese. They prefer the word fat, and I prefer the word fat because it describes what I am, not a category that doctors are putting me in to describe how sick I am. I know that there's a new movement going around in the body acceptance sphere that is called categories, and what it describes is the different levels of privilege you have based on how fat you are. And
categories, I can't. No fucking way. Categories. Stop it. Oh my God. It's so fucking funny. Categories.
So there's things like small fat, mid fat, super fat, and death fat. And death fat was coined in 2008 to describe folks that are so overweight that they're at risk of dying. And so this is a way that we're reclaiming words such as the word queer, how queer used to be used very derogatory as a slur for LGBTQ folks, but now we're saying and identifying as queer to reclaim that word. So that's how I feel about if it's offensive or not.
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So it's based on your shirt size. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat. 3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. So that is based on
super fat,
what level of privilege you have in the world. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane, but someone in a mid
not a privilege. Privilege. Jesus fucking Christ. You know what's a privilege? Having enough money and access to enough calories to glutton yourself on a daily basis consistently over a long period of time to then disproportionately burden all of the rest of society through your selfish actions by increasing the cost of food, travel, gas, healthcare, taxes. That is privilege. You, fat chick-ish, are privileged as fuck. You are privileged in thinking that you can just not participate in your health care and the rest of society will pick up the slack for you. That is privilege. You are privileged in thinking that somehow you are a discriminated against entity when you are literally given enough access to enough calories to glutton yourself to round shaped. That is privilege. You are privileged in thinking the fact that you can sit there and complain about how society treats you based off of your unhealthy actions that once again disproportionately burden all of society. That's fucking privilege.
fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in and the privilege levels of what fat means to different people.
You think something interesting, like you said, privilege, right? So if somebody is less fat, then them being able to get onto an airplane is a privilege, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you guys think of that?
A lot of things in life are privileges, and what's being overweight in my opinion, I think that's something you can control yourself. So if you feel like you're deprived of this privilege, you can change yourself to enjoy that privilege.
At death vat, are people? Is this like what I see on shows, like where people can't walk or things like that?
Typically, it's over a 6X.
Okay.
So it's where people maybe couldn't walk, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't take care of themselves. And so that's where you lose that privilege of being able to care for yourself. And that's why you're in the category of death vat, because you are at risk of dying because of your weight.
I feel like when you see the show, like with people that are quote unquote death vat, do you have any knowledge on how people end up at death vat? Like, is it usually a health thing, or is it? Because I feel like I haven't really seen very many people.
It's an eat thing. They eat. It's the fucking food. It's the food. All the goddamn time, it's the food.
People in my life that are at that, it's just sensationalized. Like, could it be related to trauma, something like that?
Absolutely. I think that for me, I can only speak from my own.
Here we are using trauma as an excuse for everything. You motherfuckers got to get over this shit. You know what? Rub some dirt on it and walk it the fuck off. I'm so sick of like the trauma. The trauma of what? You're one of the most coddled fucking generations ever. The trauma of what, bitches? The trauma of having enough access to enough food. Like, I remember eating pork chops and sauerkraut for like 3 months straight because my family was fucking poor when I was growing up. You can miss me with this. I'm not privileged, therefore I'm fat. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Unbelievable.
Experience, but the reason why I'm fat is related to trauma, related to medical issues, it's related to mental health struggles, it's related to access, it's related to a lot of...
It's related to how much you fucking glutton yourself with on a daily goddamn basis.
Different things, and could put me in the category of one day being death fat, but I'm trying my best to like become a better person and like have a better mentality and stuff like that. So yeah, I think...
So you admit it's bad to be a death fat. So therefore you admit it's bad to be fat. And therefore you admit you don't want to be a death fat. If there was nothing wrong with being fat, why not be a death fat? Why not be super fat? Why not? I love it when they dismantle their entire own argument.
Anyone in one day could end up death fat. It's just these experiences you go through and what type of toll that takes on you.
Part of you has to wonder if we're trying to create a society from WALL-E at times with how easy we make it for people to access things, though. Like, that's, you say you don't see people that are death fat. Well, that's because now we have DoorDash and Uber Eats and every other service under the sun. A lot of that was accelerated by the pandemic and being forced to stay at home. People can get everything delivered directly to them now. There isn't that requirement to go out and get it, and so you don't see people that much anymore. And a lot of them may make the choice of like, I don't want to go out because, there's that trauma associated with what if XYZ happens when I'm out because of, my size, and then now, that size becomes the center of attention. Because I think when you're talking about how does somebody get to that point, I think the only way you get to that point is if there's some kind of a mental illness happening for some reason, whatever that is. Like, you don't get there.
Yes, they're mentally ill. I've gone over this. Being morbidly obese, hurting yourself on a daily basis with food is a sign of mental illness. I was not doing well mentally when I decided I wanted to fucking be fat as fuck so I could be strong as fuck. That is not a healthy fucking thing to put in your head at all. It completely lacks perspective on life. I'm going to sacrifice health to try to lift the bar for a bunch of fucking strangers? Fuck no. I am super happy my wife shook me the fuck out of that and been like, what the fuck are you doing? Because that is completely fucking off the reservation, not mentally healthy or physically healthy.
Out having, I would think, almost like a desire to hurt yourself. Been through some kind of trauma that has you feeling unworthy of something, or like that is the way that you cope with things. Like, there has to be some kind of underlying something that could push you to that.
Blah, 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 blah. Trauma.
Point. I don't think you're going to get to that point unless you are really struggling with something and need professional services. And I think that's we need to just do better with, period, as a country, is professional services for mental health. And I think it helped with a lot of things.
And physical health as well.
Or we need to do a better job of you motherfuckers just sucking it the fuck up and continuing on with life and dealing with your shit.
There are folks that may have something like lymphedema where they cannot move, can't get out of the house, or agoraphobia, which is a mental illness. But
lymphedema is almost always lymphedema. Not lymphedema, but lymphedema is caused by being morbidly obese. It's wild that people, like, if you 100% of the people that get lymphedema have a BMI of over 40. It's caused, lipedema, different. Lymphedema is the basically shutdown of your lymphatic system because you're fat as fuck. Look it up.
It's another reason why people just can't get out and can't move, can't go to the doctor or anything like that. So I think all of those are different reasons why people end up in that category.
You mentioned, like, I guess.
I'm sorry, but like, and I do feel bad for people with the plight of mental illness, especially agoraphobia and stuff like that, but you got to fucking cope. Like, it's personal responsibility. You got to be personally responsible for your shit.
This might not be a term, but the death.
Like, they just keep saying these things as if it's like, well, they might have agoraphobia, so therefore they could be fat. No, fuck that. I'm sorry they have agoraphobia. That does not make it okay to abuse yourself. Like, it's like they don't want to admit that it's abuse. She knows it's abuse because she doesn't want to become a death fat. She knows it's abuse. She knows it's self-abuse because she doesn't want to become a death fat. She even said that. And the other girl knows that it's a problem because she admits she's lazy. She doesn't want to work out. It's just easier to glutton herself every single day. She admits this shit. They know. They just are using excuses like trauma and agoraphobia and mental health and la 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 la. Stop it. Just fucking stop it.
Category. You mentioned people that inject themselves, take things to the next level. I mean, it has to be fueled by something similar, right? I mean, if it's on the same parallel, it's just going to a complete other extreme. You think that's maybe people that end up doing things like that and end up suffering, fatalities from that? You think they have something similar trauma-based going on?
Yes.
Obviously, I'm not a medical professional, but I have heard of the My 600-Pound Life, people like that. Watching those shows, I've heard people mention it's a mental thing, and you have some mental issue that's driving just to nonstop eating. And yeah, similarly with the over-obsessive fit people, they have body dysmorphia was mentioned. Those things are also really negative when you're pushed to that limit. And yeah, death fit can absolutely be a thing.
I put myself in some risky situations. And when you're talking about death fit, I went on multiple steroid cycles to try and, ascertain certain goals, both in attracting the female gaze as well as mainly trying to ascertain certain fitness levels for what I was doing with the military. And it felt like it was, kind of accepted or almost celebrated by the culture.
You went on steroids while you're in the military.
I was doing it at a time where, this was like 2005 to 2007, and so I'm ordering things online from Eastern European places that are, being shipped through mail in weird packaging, and, I'm taking anabolic steroids, and I'm taking, different.
I mean, I guess the only way I can go about this is just saying, what do you love? Why are you satisfied with your body?
Growing up with body dysmorphia and only being seen for my body put me through mental turmoil.
I think we can end it there. You guys can go watch the rest of it. Thank you to those gentlemen. I hope you don't copyright strike me. I stopped it enough. You shouldn't want to. But I will take Q&A for a little bit. I wanted to get back to this one right up here. Hi, sir, motherfucker. Your previous suggestion about smoking helped. Thank you. But now, whenever I resist smoking, my brain says either give me a cigarette or give me something to eat. Suggestions. I do highly suggest you always have a water bottle next to you. It's going to take you a long time to get that. At some point in time, especially when it comes to addiction, there is a grip it and rip it portion that people do not want to admit, right? Because here's the thing. I want people to live hunger-free and happy. I want you to be able to not smoke and be happy and live hunger-free and happy. But at the same time, I just think everybody needs to understand that if you've eaten yourself or drank yourself or smoked yourself to the point where there's some sort of addiction involved, meaning like you Jones for it, you got to be realistic with yourself in that, very frankly, it's going to suck for a little bit, right? So what my suggestion to you and anybody else in your position is to basically just really try hard to just grind your way through it, find as much distraction as you can from it. I don't suggest the nicotine patches because it just keeps you addicted to nicotine. But I do suggest maybe that you really try to focus on getting your hydration in, stuff like that. Just be very aware. I mean, I know that's not the best advice anybody could ever possibly hear, but it is true advice because at some point in time, it's going to have to come where there's going to be some pain in the change. One more time, folks, I did want to put in. Here is, that's not what I wanted. I was going to be a join the StreamYard thing. Here is link to our coaching, daily communication, weekly video conferences. Please do take us up on this offer. We enjoy helping people. Jay Ant, what's up, motherfucker? Not all negative experiences equate to trauma. I hate it when people just use the word as a blanket statement. No shit. It's become a humongous issue, like incredibly large issue where, and people use it as an excuse. Like, you know what? I've got trauma. I'm sure I've got trauma for lots of fucking things. I've been through some shit that would make some of these fucking weak ass motherfuckers like, somebody called me fat. I've got trauma. Shit. Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, when I was fat, nobody could say any insult to me that I hadn't said 2 inches away from the fucking mirror before. Facts. I used to make fun of my fucking man titties all the goddamn time to myself. And not in a nice way. Like, if you motherfuckers think I'm hard on other people, you should see what goes on in my mind about me. Because it's scary up there. But I also didn't let it crumble me into a ball. I also use it as fuel to help better myself, and that's what you guys should do too. Better yourself. There is no better time than right now to better yourself. And that statement is true 100% of the time, anytime you say it. There's no better time to better yourself than right now. Some people are dirt poor, nothing to eat, and these grown-ups crying about being able to stop eating calories. It's really fucking annoying, isn't it? Like really, really, really annoying. I like to ask myself, does this align with my goals? Very good fucking question. Very good question. Let's see, 10 kilograms down from August. Great goddamn job. I changed my diet to whole foods, started to drink 3 liters of water a day, and go to the gym. My mental health has never been better. Everybody congratulate Leah. That is a great. That's 20 pounds. That's fucking outstanding. That's 22 pounds. Great job. In 2 months, you are fucking killing it. Thank you, genuinely, stranger on the internet. Oh, of course. That's what I do. That's what I do. So one more time, folks. I do like helping people. Here's where you can get our package for our holiday coaching. Take us up on these offers because they're not going to be around much longer because we got big things coming. I hope all of you have a fucking phenomenal day. My name is Alan Roberts. I will be back live tomorrow. I'm going to be setting up some stuff. I believe me and Alan Chen, Dr. Alan Chen, are going to do something Thursday evening. And I'm going to be sending Honey Bison a message here. Maybe we'll do some stuff on her channel or my channel or whatever. So I hope everybody has a great day. God damn.